The Scarlet Enclave raid is out, and the bosses are a lot harder than pretty much everyone anticipated. So here is a breakdown of how to take out the very first boss, Balnazzar. And as you can see, we are pulling the boss away from where he is at the beginning, because at 70%, the boss will phase into phase 2. But if you pull him really far away from where he stands, you can actually continue to do DPS to him because he has to run to a specific position before he actually phases into phase 2. Also, you can see these little like shades around the room called Shade of Balnazzar. All they do realistically is just like spawn on someone and then hit you once. So they don't do that much damage and you can't really avoid them. And to make it an easy transition before 70%, you might want to burn all of the ads that he spawns. You can see them here. Let me go back. Okay, so these Screeching Terrors, you want to burn these. Basically, they're just normal ads. They'll be picked up by an off tank or even your main tank. And then they do pretty much a fear. They fear their main target, which is interruptible, as well as you can cast Curse of Tongues. So put Curse of Tongues on those and make sure you're interrupting them. And then ideally before you get to 70%, so around 75%, take down the Screeching Terrors, and then the boss will phase. You'll see him phase right now. Okay, so now he's running back towards his position. Use all of your cooldowns, do a ton of damage here because you want to burn him through phase 2. Phase 2 is pretty much kind of sketchy. Now there's two other things I didn't mention that go on here. There is a carrion swarm, kind of like a disease that if you're near other people, it will stack and do more damage to you. So everyone will start taking damage. They'll start taking damage. You'll start taking damage. You need to spread out whenever you get that, and you should see it pop up on my screen. I made a weak aura for it, which I'll link in the description. Then on top of that, there is a mind control, but only during this phase. So during phase 2, the boss is just flying around in a circle, and everybody in your group needs to split up into 4 groups and stand on these light sections here. There's like little NPCs, like kind of paladins that have light. If you're in the darkness, you will be silenced. So hunters can stand out because there's no issues. And you can see the mind control happening right here. If you have the MC debuff, which you see me have right now, perfect timing, what you should do is run away from the rest of the group. If you're not near anyone, it looks like the MC goes away. I'm not 100% solidified on making sure that that happens, but that was the MC debuff. And then during this phase, melee all, take out these Screeching Terrors. Make sure your tanks have Fear Ward or you have Fear Protection, because if they get hit by that fear and don't get dispelled, super easy to dispel, by the way, then those mobs will turn and just melee someone down and just one-shot them. And then also those mobs, if they ever hit any of these light bringers, you see that people are hiding in the light so that they can cast. If they ever hit any of those light bringers, then the mobs will enrage, but you can trank shot them, but they will be a lot stronger there. Once you get to 40%, the boss goes into phase 3. From here, he will start spawning these infernals, and the infernals will come down and stun everybody around you, of course, so you can FAP these, as well as they'll do AoE damage. You're going to want to pick these up by your main tank and then your off tank. Your main tank basically so that any of the healers can continue healing, because if you're standing next to the infernals, it counts as being in the light. So you'll see me do that right here in a second. So now if you're standing next to the infernals, now you are no longer silenced. If you aren't near the infernals, you are silenced. And what you want to do is actually burn the boss in this phase. I wouldn't worry about managing the ads, just take down the boss. His HP is not that ridiculous that the ads will overwhelm you by the time you take him down. And you can see the Carrion Swarm debuff here where I run away, and you can see I only have 1 stack. If I was in the main raid group, I would have something like 10, 20 stacks, and it would be doing a ton of damage to me and everyone. But a couple more quick tips you should know about as the boss is phasing into phase 2. When he's doing that running to the position that he will go up into the air, you want to make sure you refresh your debuffs on him. This is going to be a lot of damage. And again, casters, focus on bringing the boss down, hitting 40% to bring him back down, because if you're all just dealing damage to the shades during this phase, you actually will lose use your silence uptime. Basically the light guys, those circles with the lights around them, what they do is eventually over time, they stop cleansing your silence after a certain amount of time. And it kind of happens one by one. So you'll notice that the entire raid group now runs to a second one because this one over here on the left is no longer actually cleansing the silence for anyone. And the things to mostly fear here are if anyone gets hit by these screeching terrors. So if the tanks don't pick those up before they go and one-shot some of your healers, and then just really bringing him down to phase 3 before you get overran with the ads. You don't really need to manage the ads super well, but during the phase 3 transition, priest bubbles, rallying cry, any sort of raid CDs can be super useful because your healers might all be silenced during the transition, and you're all going to take AoE damage from getting stunned by the infernal and probably having like a curse in the raid or a plague in the raid. So just having something to allow you to survive long enough for the infernal to bring light buff to everyone so the healers can top everyone off will be a huge difference. And from there, you have taken down the first boss in the brand new raid. I will have a guide tomorrow on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, probably 5th as well. Anyways, guys, I hope you're enjoying the new raid, and I will see you tomorrow. I will be streaming at 10 a.m. PST. Second stream of the entire year. I guess we're back, but just a little bit.